Welcome back to the deep dive. We take your sources, we process them, and hopefully give you that intellectual shortcut.
That's the plan.
So today, we're really tackling something central, I think, to pretty much everything we do. Disagreements. How do you handle them?
Yeah, it's huge.
Our listeners sent in a stack, and the mission is, well, it sounds simple, but it's tough.
Yeah.
How can you be absolutely right in what you're saying without making the other person feel like they're completely wrong?
It's such a critical skill, and these sources, they really go after this idea of conviction, you know?
How so?
Well, we live in this world, right? Online, in meetings, everywhere. People seem 100% certain about everything.
Oh, absolutely. All the time.
But the question the sources raise is, how much certainty is actually justified?
Okay, yeah. Where's the line?
And there's this really surprising insight right at the start about a famous president. Looking back at his biggest decisions, really high-stakes stuff, he admitted that even his best calls, the ones he felt strongest about, were maybe only 3/4 right. Like 75% correct.
Wait, really? 75%?
Yeah.
On his best decisions?
Yeah. That's what the source claims.
Wow. Okay, so a world leader dealing with massive issues figures maybe a 25% error margin on his strongest judgments.
Right.
But Dave down the hall is 100% certain about the new marketing plan.
Or about how you loaded the dishwasher. It really reframes things, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. So if aiming for 100% truth isn't really feasible, or maybe even the point, what is our responsibility when we disagree with someone?
That's the core tension, isn't it? Is it about deploying all your logical firepower to, fix their mistake?
Like correcting the record forcefully.
Yeah. Or is the way you approach it, the attitude you bring, actually more important than the logic itself?
That's the big question. Let's unpack that. Okay, let's get into that internal struggle. Because, fine, maybe I'm not 100% certain. But what if I feel like 80%, maybe 90% sure?
Pretty high conviction.
Yeah. At that point, doesn't it feel like I should argue strongly? Like maybe it's even irresponsible not to if their idea could lead somewhere bad.
That feeling, that urge, that's exactly the trap the sources warn about, the trap of near certainty.
How is it a trap?
Because you're focusing entirely on your 90% logic.
Right.
And you're completely overlooking the biggest barrier to actually getting that logic heard.
Which is?
The other person's ego, their sense of self-worth.
Ah. Okay. The sources use an analogy for this, right?
Yeah.
About what really changes minds.
Yeah, it's a great one. It asks, what's more effective, your sharp logic or how you handle their self-respect?
And the choice is framed as breaking a mirror versus wiping dust off it.
Exactly. Do you shatter their reflection by telling them they're fundamentally flawed, or do you gently suggest their view might just be a bit obscured right now?
Okay, I get the metaphor, but if I think they're really steering things wrong, doesn't wiping the dust off feel a bit passive? A bit weak?
It might feel that way initially.
How does my superior logic actually win if I'm not being assertive, maybe even a little aggressive?
Well, here's the crucial psychological bit. When you attack aggressively, when you try to break the mirror, their brain instantly shifts. It goes into defense mode. The emotional part takes over.
Fight or flight.
Pretty much. They stop listening for truth and start protecting their dignity. So your brilliant 90% correct idea, it gets rejected. Not because the logic is flawed.
Yes, Lord.
But because of how it was delivered. Because it felt like an attack.
Precisely. The dust-wiping approach, though, it respects the person. It says, hey, your viewpoint matters. Let's just see if we can clear things up a bit together.
These real-world examples in the sources really drive this home. Like, the young lawyer, he had the facts completely straight, right?
Absolutely. Logically sound.
But he just flat out told the judge in open court, you are wrong.
Oof. Yeah. Bad move.
And the result, the source says the atmosphere turned icy.
Instantly, his argument, no matter how solid, just died right there. Because he attacked the judge's ego first. So the judge wasn't thinking about the legal points anymore. He was thinking about his status, his authority.
Exactly. The lawyer lost the argument for the truth because he made it about winning over the person.
Okay, contrast that with the success stories.
Yeah.
The car salesman one is great. They totally changed how they handled complaints.
Instead of defending, getting all factual,
Yeah, none of that.
they started using one key phrase. Something like, maybe we are wrong. Please tell us your perspective.
Just that. Maybe we are wrong.
That was the core of it, and it acted like a key. It unlocked the situation, diffused the anger.
Because it acknowledged the customer's self-respect first.
Right. And cooperation opened up. The source even says it led to more sales just from changing that initial approach.
It's hard to do, though, that switch from defending to genuine curiosity, especially when you think you're right.
It takes practice. We see the same pattern with that technical manager, remember? Failed miserably when he tried to just prove the whole room wrong.
Oh yeah, the classic "I'm the expert, listen to me" approach.
Which almost never works. But he succeeded when he flipped it, when he started asking questions instead.
Like, what do you guys think isn't working here? What should our priority be?
Exactly. He shifted from dictating to co-creating. And when people feel they're part of building the solution...
They own it. It becomes their idea too, even if you guided them there.
Precisely. It's not your idea they need to resist anymore. It's our plan we need to make work.
It reminds me of that lumber anecdote too. The seller didn't argue about the wood standards.
No, he just guided the buyer to look again at the buyer's own criteria.
And the buyer convinced himself, accepted the whole shipment, because he found the answer himself.
And this isn't some new management fad. The sources point out this wisdom is ancient, praising an opponent's character or good qualities, especially in front of others.
Like their boss.
Yeah, it signals that you value truth and respect over just winning the argument. That kind of personal acknowledgement can be way more persuasive than pages of data. So why does this work so consistently? To really get it, we need to quickly look at the underlying psychology. There are basically 3 principles or laws that explain why attitude trumps pure data so often.
Okay, let's get into the mechanics. What's the first principle driving that defensiveness?
It's what we can call the ego defense principle. Simple idea. When our core beliefs get attacked, our emotional brain just takes over, switches straight into defense mode.
Like a threat response.
Exactly. And when that happens, your perfectly logical argument, it feels like a punch. It feels like an attack on me, not just my idea.
So we protect ourselves first.
We're wired to protect what's mine, my idea, my reputation, my experience, before we protect some abstract truth. Social safety trumps intellectual accuracy almost every time.
That's fascinating. Our opinions feel like part of us, like possessions we have to guard.
In a way, yeah. Which leads to the second principle, which is how we get around that defense.
Okay.
It's the psychological ownership principle. This explains why asking questions and guiding works so much better than just telling.
Because we believe what we create ourselves.
Exactly. People trust, believe in, and commit to things they feel they had a hand in creating. If you ask the right questions, reflect their ideas back accurately, they often find the better answer themselves.
They discover it rather than having it pushed on them.
Right. And if they discover it, the shift in thinking actually sticks. If you just deliver the answer, it might get lip service, but it's probably temporary.
So, guide, don't dictate. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's the third principle? You mentioned language.
Yeah, the humble framing principle. This is all about the specific words we choose. Certain phrases create a feeling of safety, while others trigger alarms.
Like what kind of phrases?
Things like, okay, as I understand it, or, look, I might be mistaken here, but, or even just, how about we try to verify this together?
Softening language, hedging a bit.
Exactly. It signals to the other person's nervous system, this isn't an attack, this is a collaboration. It kind of unfreezes the conversation, allows the logical brain to come back online.
So humility isn't weakness in an argument.
Not at all. It's actually strategic. It clears the path for your logic to actually be heard.
Okay, so if I pull all that together, the big insight is really, if you want to convince someone's mind, you've got to connect with their heart first, or at least not alienate it.
Well put.
The goal shouldn't be about winning over somebody else. That's just ego.
Right. That's the ego game.
It should be about finding a way to become mutually more correct. That's the intellect game.
That's the game worth playing.
And making that shift from the ego game to the intellect game, that's precisely what our listener needs tools for. Which brings us nicely to the really practical part of the sources, this 5-step protocol for constructive disagreement.
Yeah, this is the actionable bit. A framework for when you feel that heat rising, that urge to just unload your 90% certainty.
Okay, step 1.
Pause, breathe, check. Simple, but critical. Before you say anything, stop. Take a breath and ask yourself, what's my real goal here? Is it just to be right? Or is it to make things better?
And the sources insist you have to choose better.
Always choose better. That pause is everything. It's where you consciously stop your emotional brain from hijacking the conversation with that ego defense response.
If you skip the pause.
You've likely already lost the chance for a productive dialogue.
Okay, I'll be honest, that pause feels like the hardest part when I know I have the better point. How fast can you actually train yourself to do that?
It takes conscious effort, definitely. But the payoff is huge and immediate because step 2, safety first, flows directly from that pause.
How so?
You use that moment to choose softening language. Start with humility. Phrases like, maybe I'm missing something here, or could you help me understand your perspective on this?
Setting a collaborative tone.
Exactly. And crucially, the sources hammer this home. Consciously avoid those 3 specific words.
Which are?
You are wrong. Just don't say it. It's like flipping the attack switch.
Got it. Avoid you're wrong. Okay, step 3.
Ask to see. This is where you use questions, but as a mirror, not as a weapon.
Eating.
Instead of attacking your conclusion, that'll never work,
Well,
you explore their underlying assumptions. Ask open-ended things like, okay, what would success look like for this approach? Or, under what conditions do you think this view holds strongest? Or, how could we actually check if this is accurate?
you're helping them examine their own thinking.
Right. Then comes step 4, reflect and reframe. This is key for showing respect. Before you even introduce your viewpoint or data,
Yeah.
you need to summarize their idea accurately and fairly. Say something like, okay, so if I'm hearing you right, you're prioritizing factor A mainly because of reason X. Is that about right?
Show them you've actually listened.
Deeply listened. Get their confirmation. Then, and only then, do you gently introduce your perspective or data. That makes sense. What I'm seeing in my data is factor Y seems really important too. How can we look at A and Y together, maybe put them on the same scale?
So you're placing both ideas side by side on a neutral table for examination, not yours versus theirs.
Exactly. It becomes a shared puzzle, which leads to the final step, 5. Co-create the next step.
Don't just declare the solution.
No. Even if you think you know it, invite them to suggest a way forward, maybe a small experiment. You're giving ownership back.
Like, okay, interesting points. How about we try approach A for just a week, and we'll track these 2 specific metrics. If they don't move, maybe we pivot to B. Sound fair?
Perfect. It's collaborative, it's testable, it respects both viewpoints. If you follow those 5 steps, you handle the external interaction well.
And internally.
Yeah.
While doing all this,
Keep those 3 internal maxims running in your head. First, I might be wrong. Always hold that possibility. Second, they probably see something I don't. Assume they have a valid perspective, even if you can't see it yet. And third, truth fears no checking. Be willing to test all assumptions, including your own.
that's a really solid framework. The overall takeaway then seems pretty clear. Respecting other people's viewpoints isn't about being weak or compromising on truth.
Not at all.
It's actually about creating the psychological safety needed for the truth to even have a chance to emerge.
Exactly. It sounds paradoxical, but the sources suggest the more humility you bring, the bigger and clearer the truth can become for everyone involved. So for you, the listener, here's a very direct challenge pulled straight from the material. Next time you're in a disagreement, especially one where you feel that 90% certainty creeping in,
Yeah, what do I do?
try opening with this specific line. Perhaps I missed something. Can you help me understand this better?
Okay, perhaps I missed something. Can you help me understand this better?
And then you just listen, really listen, reflect back what you're hearing. Keep asking clarifying questions until the other person genuinely says something like, yes, that's it, you understand me now.
That's the moment when they feel truly heard.
That's the moment the door opens. That's when logic can actually enter the room because the ego feels safe. The mind becomes receptive.
Wow. So never rush to win the argument.
And lose the relationship or lose the chance for real understanding. Let the truth win by creating an atmosphere of respect. Because, as the sources imply, when truth wins properly, nobody really loses.